Greetings and welcome to another Obby live stream. First one I've done actually for well over a month, I think. I'd have to have a look back at my channel to see when my last stream was. So I thought it was about time I dusted off the microphone, cleared my throat, and fired up open broadcast software and spend a bit of time scrutinizing what appears to have made the mainstream media. The big news outlets have covered a story which happened very local to me, actually. If you've watched my content in the past, you'll know I'm kind of a bit suspicious of events presented to us on the news. It's not a popular point of view, and for that reason, I've not been covering this subject so much. I've got like years of content on my channel of me going back looking at these. Lately I've been talking about color coding and how you can tell these news events, one of which we're going to look at in a minute, which happened in Bath, which for the first 25 years of my life, Bath, England, I grew up. It was my home. Well, yeah, there was a big car crash back there just a few back on around the 17th of January, and I know the area and even the person involved. I know someone that knows a family member of that person, so I can kind of, vouch that the people involved weren't completely fabricated characters, which is a suspicion I've had when we look at some news articles. Yeah, it goes right back to 2017. I brought out a live stream, Hoax Event Checklist, where I said all the things you should look out for if you see a big news story and you're curious how legitimate it is. Then, yeah, I suggested looking for a few of these things. I think I did update it. And we'll bring up my channel quickly before we look at... Well, no, first of all, we'll look at the main story, okay? And see if any of you are familiar with it. Carnage, as a car smashes into Sports Direct store before hurtling into a bus. This happened around the time where in parts of Europe some attacks had been taking place with vehicles, and it was a time where they were whipping up a lot of fear into people. The mainstream press, it would seem, are always trying to give us reasons why we should be wary of going out. You'll catch someone's cold, you're going to get hit by a bus, someone's going to detonate an explosive, there's racial hatred, the weather's crazy. The press always seems to be trying to tell us, just stay indoors, just don't go and look out there. And yeah, my take on it is, no, I don't actually trust you just because you're a major news outlet. I don't trust that what you're telling me now is gospel, let's say. But I can certainly confirm the location where this thing that we're about to watch happened. Let me change the view of the reader. So this is from a news outlet called Need to Know, not one I'm familiar with, but this appeared everywhere. I think it's up on TikTok somewhere. And no, that's another one. Where was it? But we found it. Okay, not to worry. I did find it on TikTok, but I don't have it at the moment. Right, we'll go back to the easy to read view. As I mentioned, yeah, we are going to quickly check out the video I made back in 2018 or so called Hoax Event Checklist, and just so you can get a gist of what we're actually referring to. Hang on. Yeah, if I look at my live streams, a lot of the early ones I did have been removed. You bring up what I'm referring to. If I put in checklist, Hoax Event Checklist is what we're looking for. If I put that search term in, get a couple of things. A stream I did on the November the 30th, 2017. and then I edited it down and uploaded it on December the 3rd, 2017. Now it turns out this video was removed by YouTube because it violated terms on YouTube. Now I can understand them wanting to keep their content clear of their platform clear of content, like some of what I'm looking at. It's not a popular opinion. If you want to be mainstream, don't go around suggesting that the mainstream are full of nonsense, because that won't go. Okay, I'm going to read the article then. This was the 17th of January this year, 2025. A car is smashed into a Sports Direct store in a busy city centre before hurtling into a bus as horrified shoppers watched on. The silver Toyota Prius reversed over the pavement and backward into the front of the shop. It then sped away and smashed. It sped away from the smashed debris, clipping a blue Mini. The driver swerved to avoid a second parked car before clipping the pavement and smashing into the back of a stock blue double-decker. One stunned onlooker filmed it in a 44-second video on their mobile phone. And that video has been bought by... Well, we'll have a look in a minute. We will do a search for this. I think pretty much a lot of major news outlets have purchased the rights to the 44-second video. Why is that particular thing important? If you are a regular viewer of mine, 44 won't seem out of place. As if we do have a quick dip into that old video I did, it turns out I've left it on private since putting out an edited version, meaning I must have made some terrible error during that live stream where we compiled a checklist of things to look out for, so that you know it isn't reality you're watching. It's what I refer to as scripted reality, where it might involve real people, it might involve real locations, but the outcome is kind of scripted. Is there anything about the video we're going to watch in a minute which suggests that this particular event is also scripted? Right, a man could be heard shouting warnings at pedestrians to keep away and to get in the building. As I said, this happened just after I think there was a truck had driven onto a main road in a capital city somewhere. Emergency services were called to Westgate buildings just after 2 p.m. Avon and Somerset Police attended the Southwestern Ambulance Service, as reported by Need to Know. Yeah, this is a shop, and it's so empty. I reckon this photo was taken during the lockdown days, where the government decided to treat us like prisoners and locked us down. Yeah, thanks for that. That was if you chose to. I mean, yeah, lockdowns, they were of course presented like they were some sort of law. They weren't. They were government advice. You don't have to follow the advice of your government, and I did everything in my power not to. Okay, not a popular choice, let me tell you that, but that's just how I think they got a photo of Sports Direct looking so empty, because normally these streets are absolutely bustling. Lately, Sports Direct has been shut because they've been doing a whole refurb on it. And coincidentally, just when that refurb was sort of coming together, a man was taken to hospital, but he didn't sustain serious injuries. This is the driver they're referring to. A Force spokesperson said, "We were called at 2:01 p.m. to reports car had collided with a bus, two parked vehicles, and a building in Westgate Buildings in Bath. Officers attended alongside the ambulance service. A man was taken to hospital, but no one is believed to have suffered any serious injury," which is always a relief, meaning we can, excuse me, scrutinise this story without fearing that there's any grieving relatives that might get annoyed at it. A man was taken to hospital, right, okay. The road was closed briefly and it was since reopened, so it wasn't major. But the way they describe it, you'd think they're talking about a serious accident that happened, We sent one double crewed land ambulance to the scene and conveyed a patient by a land ambulance to the Royal United Hospital. In case anyone thought that in this particular car news story they might need helicopter, flying ambulances. Is anywhere safe left in England? Absolutely, yes. 99% of the streets out there are perfectly safe. Obviously, you need common sense. You need to be sensible. But you cannot believe that every street you walk down in Bath, a lunatic's waiting to drive at you. Proper carnage, it was. Again, did anything happen in this video that might lead us to believe that there was something... Okay. We'll watch it. I think that's the fairest way of doing it. Start things up a moment. Okay, car smashes into Sports Direct before hurtling a bus in Bath. As I say, I can absolutely confirm at least that this isn't this event did actually certainly happen. Hang on, sorry, before we do that I've just got to change some audio settings my end. Otherwise I'm hearing an echo and it's very distracting. Okay. Go back to our vid. Yeah, if you've not already seen it, this happened on 17th of January. Okay, that is tonight's video that I want to look at. Looks pretty serious, looks pretty, the way that car drives quickly into the street. Into the, it'd be scary if you were around there. Okay, anything to suggest that some of what we're watching in this video, I can zoom it in. Can I zoom it in? Okay, it is no coincidence that the bus happens to be blue. Okay, right, I'll bring up some of my older content. Okay, here's the hoax event checklist that I did back in 2017. I did not realize actually that this video had been set to private. Like I said, I must have made some sort of ridiculous error. I mentioned in that numbers keep coming up. Dual numbers are constantly referenced in every one of these fabricated news stories. They'll always slip their numbers in. It's possible to ignore once you see it. Every news story has some reference to 22, 33, 44, 66, or 666 for some reason or another. The numbers are 100% coded for a reason. Now, what I didn't mention back here, but I've mentioned, okay, there was something that just popped up. People go missing. That was more about, what was the other one? It was amateur footage always being get taken of the horrors and atrocities. Now, these were the days I used to be allowed to talk about subjects like this. ISIS claim responsibility. See, none of that happens anymore. That was very much of the time. Some of it's still there. There will be often a common narrative that cuts through all of these news stories that we see. But yeah, we have the amateur walkthrough footage. Also a local hero. But okay, we'll go to my channel and we'll see on here how many videos I've done just recently about the subject of color coding, color coded Leeds riots, the Apple Store robbery, color coded, the guy in his red shoes. I've done more live streams recently about it as well. Go to my lives. Well, pink Coke, that was kind of color coded, yeah. Black, white, and red all over. Red rag riots. And this one where I compiled a dress code of what people seem to wear. Blue and green comes up, as does red, whereas the majority of the bystanders are all dressed in black and white. Normally black, but you do see white. So let's go through and have a look at the color coding that we're looking for. Okay, yeah, blue bus. Is the first, ends up getting smashed into the very first car he hits. Now, as I said, this Sports Direct shop that got smashed, okay, it's had these black boards up. It's been shut for months as they've been doing a refurbishment, and it looks to me like some sort of possibly even an insurance job. I mean, no doubt Sports Direct would have claimed on the insurance here. Okay, what's the first car we see it smash into? A blue Mini, then a blue bus. The people in the street are wearing a lot of yeah, we see the colours of the people in the street. Hopefully you can see it on the screen if it's large enough. As we play the video on, see if much else comes up. Again, another blue cart. Someone's shoe is on the ground, although, oh, is it a shopping bag? I don't know what that is. Perhaps it's... I thought it was a shoe, actually, when I first looked at it, but it isn't. Someone's bag. Again, a woman with red trousers pops by. And if you watch the people as they run along pavement, just after the car smashed into it, you will see our favourite colour. Now, I suppose, statistically, yes, you are going to see people wearing red. Hang on, that wasn't... How was it? Is this the whole video? No, this one's only 32 seconds, so this one's actually been cropped out. If we go back on the web page, we do get to see a longer version. I hope we do anyway, because yeah, there's quite an important part that comes up there. Okay. Bring up the whole page, and here is the video. This is the full 43 seconds where you see the people running away. Are we right at the... Yeah, I don't know why the one I had. Anyway, if we look at this on the screen now, you'll see two parked blue cars. First blue, the blue bus. Smash into Sports Direct. We are going to actually get out the numerology calculator at some point. to see if any of the, maybe we'll look at the number plates or anything else. There we go. So, I mean, it's quite a smash into that bus, I will agree. Maybe the reason they cropped it out early is these people run their lives. Who runs by a woman in a nice bright red jacket? Why is that important? Well, also yellow as well. Again, in these events, they seem to like. Maybe it's just the way they organise them. Who knows? Personally, I'm going to say maybe an insurance job. This was. They just spent a load of money doing up their building, doing up their shop, and who knows? Perhaps they wanted just to raise a bit of dosh from that. Yeah, so a couple of things that might. We were called at 2:02. Again, the numbers coming up. This is the Southwestern Ambulance Service saying how precisely they were called at 2 minutes past 2 on Friday, the 17th of January, to a road traffic collision. We sent one double crewed. Yep, we've read all that. So, my outlook on this. Have I seen enough to say that, yeah, this is definitely a scripted event? Again, I made a video recently saying that anytime you see the words "what you need to know," well, this certainly isn't the first time I said it. I can't remember the last time, but it was in one of these live streams. I said, if you ever see something that says like "big news event, what you need to know," then what they mean is what we want you to believe. Let's do yeah, if we what you need to know. Okay, how did that open? Quick. There is even a ITV News podcast called What You Need to Know. What in the world? Oscars 2025. What you need to know about this year's film awards. What we want you to believe about this year's film awards. Yeah, it's. I seriously have come to the point now where I'm saying to myself, why am I making checklists for to safely watch content on a platform? Lose that image of someone wiping their backside. Yeah, as I said, I haven't live streamed so much recently, and it's because I have actually come to a point where thinking rather than make a checklist to find out if what I'm seeing can be trusted, why don't I just stop watching it? However, it is very difficult to get away from some of these very high profile events that take place. For my own sanity, I cannot leave the news on. Yeah, by the way, what supposedly, as I said, I know someone who knows someone who's the father of the supposedly the driver of this event. Just because a real person was driving this car, supposedly they had a panic attack. No action was taken against them, I don't think. I mean, in order for Sports Direct to have done a claim on the insurance, I imagine they would have had to have, reported a crime happening. This is, but from what we can see in the article, all we hear is that he was hospitalized. So I think the saying is that this poor guy wasn't very well when it was all happening. But that is one for you to decide yourself. As we turn the color of the thumbnail a little. Yeah, that's as I'm no longer watching, or I'm trying to keep away as much as I can from content that I have a hard time believing. It means I'm not going to make so many videos. I am still putting content out, but just not up on YouTube. I'm deciding not really to cover this kind of situation anymore. I mean, if something absolutely massive happens and everyone around me suddenly goes insane again, and they start thinking that they're gonna encounter, everyone they encounter is carrying some deadly disease that could wipe them and everyone around them out. This was literally what people were being fed for a very long period of time. We're fortunately not at that level anymore, where everyone's turned into a bunch of. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be nasty. People decide to put their faith and trust in the words of government. Never going to do that. The words of the Holy Scriptures, yes, I'll put my faith and trust in that, and my agreement. The press, the mainstream news, absolutely not. I'm going to leave that one at arm's length. So yeah, maybe I'm not going to be making so many videos on fake mainstream press, but you can be sure I will probably pop back every so often just to, if I see something that I want to look at, then I might do it during a live stream. We'll see how it goes. Okay, we've been going for about 30 minutes. That is the length of time I wanted tonight's stream to last. Hopefully we haven't had too many audio crisis. The sound's been okay. Yeah, another reason why I stopped doing these live streams was that the people, the audience was just not there. So I'm now putting my efforts into content on other platforms. I do understand YouTube don't want people to recommend other platforms. I'm not going to do that. I have had it in the past where I've come across other YouTube channels, and I've left a comment where I said to him, I think your channel and work would do really well on this platform, and bang, YouTube removed the comment. Fair enough. So I'm certainly not going to tell anyone where they can find me, because it's very different to the content I'm putting out here. But if you followed me long enough, you would probably know where that is, if anyone's actually interested. Right, yeah, I'm going to be shutting down for the weekend very soon, and hoping that everyone has a wonderful. I always recommend the Sabbath day be observed, rest on the 7th day. That starts at sundown tomorrow, and yeah, from this point onwards, it's pretty much a preparation now to allowing yourself 24 hours of rest. No buying, no selling, no working. And it's a wonderful way of aligning your internal calendar, as it were, your internal clock. Have a proper start and end to each week, and nothing ends a week like a day of rest or begins a new one. So yeah, again, that's my recommendation. I do always have a little thing I like to pop up on my screen where I give thanks and appreciation to people who at one time or another have shown some support to my content here on YouTube. There are still a few people that tune in and occasionally say hello in the comment section. That's always really appreciated. So if your name's scrolling along the screen now, thanks very much to you. And it's for you guys that I'm still going, I guess. Okay. I think everyone's had time for their name to come up, hopefully. At this point, we're gonna start putting our music on. And I thank everyone for watching. And we are gonna bring things to a close. My final request is, if anyone has actually enjoyed the stream this evening and they want to show their thanks, or it says links on the screen now, but a much easier and straightforward way of showing your appreciation is, of course, just hitting the thumbs up button. Let's try that. Let's try that again. You missed the animation. You want to show your thanks and appreciation for tonight's stream, please consider hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing if you're not already, and sharing this video over on social media is a massive compliment to me. So if anyone wanted to do that. We have had a live chat going, but I don't know if anyone's tuned in tonight. Doesn't look like it. That's kind of one of the reasons I shut down my... I stopped doing so many live streams. I'm actually desperately close to getting monetized over on another platform, which I'm not going to talk about. I would recommend people... No, I'm not going there. I'm not going to annoy YouTube. And now's not the time. Perhaps I'll come back another time and talk about such a subject. Okay guys, as I said, thank you for taking the time to tune in. The thumbs up button if you felt goodness me, I don't know what happened there. The audio went crazy. My apologies. I'm using a trackpad now. My mouse packed up and I'm having to do everything on a trackpad, and it accidentally, you know, drags stuff that it shouldn't, and I think I just dragged up the volume button on the background music. So my apologies. I can't do a live stream without having at least one muck up like that though, so no. Hey, by all means, leave a comment in the chat if you have anything to add. Were you aware of the story involving the car crashing into Sports Direct in Bath? If you were, let us know your thoughts. Okay, I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful weekend and say over and out. Goodbye for now. Take care.